Hey, Mental Mars here, and recently I got invited to come and play Battleborn at the 2K office here in Holland. There I was able to play a new preview build of the game. After having participated in a close technical test, I was excited to play Battleborn once again. Upon arriving at 2K, I got a warm welcome, and there was also a brief introduction of the game for those who haven't played it. So, for those who haven't heard of Battleborn, it's a first-person shooter with 25 playable characters. Each character has its own unique playstyle and abilities. The game features a cooperative story mode that you can play with 4 friends, but there is also a PvP component where you can go head to head in a 5 vs 5 multiplayer match. And this multiplayer component was the main attraction for the day. First multiplayer mode we played was Meltdown. Here you have to sacrifice those little minion robots to a delusional robot with a god complex. So what you have to do is protect your minions across the map as they walk towards a grinder where you can sacrifice them. For each minion that you get across you will receive points. The bigger the minion, the more points you will receive. The other team does the same, so you have to attack your enemy and their minions while making sure your own minions get across. The first team that reaches 500 points wins. And it's chaos, and I'm loving it. You smash their minions, they are smashing your minions, you hit them, they hit you, and between the battles you are collecting shards to buy turrets that help you gain control over the battlefield. There's a lot of gameplay to keep you occupied. For my first game I picked Raph, the Generate Swordsman. My first introduction to him was at Gamescom, and this hero really surprised me. I didn't think melee characters would work that well in a first-person view, but Battleborn proved me wrong. Raph is easy to pick up, he's a fast and strong character, but a bit low on the health side. But I wanted a hero that could quickly get around the battlefield so I could support my team in both lanes and go aggressively so I could smack the other team around the map. In the beginning the battle was head to head, but along the way my team was getting the upper hand and took the lead, from which the other team wasn't able to recover. After the first match, the losing team was given a choice: take revenge in Meltdown or try out the other game type. They didn't feel so lucky, so they wanted to try out Capture, hoping that they would have more success there. In Capture you have to take control over 3 capture zones. Controlling one of these zones will give you points for every second that your team owns it. The first team reaching 1000 points wins the match. This game type was a bit easier to understand, but I like the fact that Capture was more than just taking control over these zones. I didn't expect this, but in this mode you could also buy turrets to help you capture zones, and there are also nodes that you can acquire to help you speed up the movement around the map. These buildables can be strategically used to take over control of the map. Sadly, my team and I weren't able to get in control and lost this match. The PR guy on the other team clearly knew what he was doing. So the score for the day was 1 against 1. But our play session wasn't over, so the rest for the day we alternated between Meltdown and Capture to continue the battle. Of these 2 game types I preferred Meltdown because it's something different from what I've played, and the main goal isn't just to kill the other players. I don't always have the urge to be the player with the highest kill count. I like the fact that you can win by playing smart and not just by being stronger than the other hero. That you can add to the team by taking down minions and gathering shards to build structures that support your team. I noticed while playing Capture that the nodes that you can build to help you get around the map were placed a bit out of the conflict zones. As most of our battles took place around the capture zones, these nodes were left unprotected and in the middle of nowhere, making them a sitting duck and not very meaningful to invest your shards in. Maybe this level of map control is something for the more experienced players, but in the matches that I played it was run to one capture point, smack the other team out of it, and after capturing it go to the next zone and repeat the process. What was still a fun experience, but there's probably more to gain there with proper teamwork and map control. But with playing Meltdown on a map paradise, building things felt more meaningful to do, as most of the fights were taking place on both lanes. And this is also where the turrets and the nodes are located, and therefore feel more natural to use. Knowing the strengths and weaknesses of your characters and what role they play really helps with creating a good team setup and really makes a difference in battle. Don't go and pick Boulder and expect to go Call of Duty on the other team. Each hero has his own playstyle and abilities, and you got to learn how to use them, but also how to counter those abilities. During my playtime I noticed that everybody started to try out different heroes, but also learned that the melee characters as Raph and Phoebe were 2 powerhouses. Most of the players didn't know how to counter these 2. and therefore were overwhelmed by the amount of sword spamming in their face. This resulted in that Raph and Phoebe were the most hated characters to encounter, but on the other hand they were also the most liked characters to play because everybody wanted to kick the other team's butt. So you could frequently hear people screaming, "Ah, Phoebe!" But after some game time I could hear the Phoebe players starting calling out, "Who is playing Benedict?" Because a certain person was playing as him and then was able to counter their playstyle. Those little swords were a bit on the short side for hitting a flying hawk up in the air. So, it's all about finding where your strengths and weaknesses lie, and so you know how to encounter your opponents. And yes, sometimes it's best to run away and fight another day. All in all, I had a great time playing the game, and winning the rest of the following matches added in enjoyment. I'm really looking forward to the release. Even my brother, who tagged along for the ride, enjoyed himself. He didn't know what he was in for when I brought him along. Now he hopes that we once again get invited by 2K so he can get his hands on the game early. Thanks for watching, I hope you liked this video. Let me know if there are any specific things you'd like to know about Battleborn. Don't forget to check out my website that is packed with Battleborn info, and I'm also making a ton of Battleborn wallpapers. Please leave a like or subscribe for more future Battleborn content, and thank you.